Hello, I am the hands of Indie Press Revolution General Manager Jason Walters, and today we're going to talk about packaging role-playing game books. Now, over the years, a bunch of people have requested that we make a video about how to properly package a role-playing game book. Now, I'm not saying that our methods are perfect, or I'm not saying our methods are the only methods. There are actually many methods for doing this. I will say that our methods are vastly better than Amazon's. And that 99% of the time, for 99% of the people, they work very well. Now, one should never, ever, in packaging a book or a game, underestimate the Postal Service, UPS, or FedEx's ability to completely destroy something in transit. There are sorting machines to shove books sideways into. There are giant piles of boxes to be shoved over. There are long trips by truck down dusty, dirty roads to bang them around in. So really no method is foolproof, but these are the methods that we have found over the years work best the vast majority of the time. Let us begin with the simplest and smallest form of role-playing game, the zine. Here we have Hope is Not a Plan. It is a zine. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, a zine is an 80s term originally for a self-published magazine, usually done just by Xeroxing something and stapling it together. They are very small. Thus, one can use a very simple type of packaging for the zine. This is a cardboard envelope. In the case of something this small, you can place the zine in the cardboard envelope, seal the top, and you're done. Now, I like to be extra paranoid with these sorts of things. So I say, as Jason Walters' hands, in the world of role-playing games, tape is your friend. Tape is your friend. Cardboard is your friend. Packing material is your friend. But we'll come into more of that. So I would, with this, simply add an additional piece of tape, just in case. Because again, this tiny package, tiny innocent package, will suffer the tortures of the damned on its journey from you to the person it's intended for. So, on to the next type. For our next type of role-playing game book, we will package the 6x9 softcover. As you can see here, this is a copy of Apocalypse World by Vincent and Megway Baker. It is a fairly sizable 6x9 softcover, and we have a specific method for packaging these. The first is to take a piece of chipboard. This is just a piece of cardboard. You place the book inside of the chipboard, fold it over for protection once. Here it is. It wraps around very nicely. Then you take a padded envelope. Now, as you can see, this is not merely an envelope. It has internal padding on the inside. You then take the 6x9 this way, and you slide it inside. There we are. Of the packaging. We fold over once, we fold over twice, and we seal. Then, as I mentioned before, always more tape. And here we are. As you can see, I'm squeezing it. This has a reasonable amount of packaging around it. It's fairly sturdy. It has an interior barrier. And 99% of the time, it's going to get where it's going completely undamaged. The next type of book we'll discuss is an 8.5 by 11 softcover role-playing game book. Not very thick. So this is a old Hero Games product from Michael Serbrook called Asian Bestiary 2. It is not huge. It is a fairly small book, all things considered. And thus, we will go with 3 items to package it with. The first is to put it into a manila envelope. Here you see just a standard manila envelope. And this doesn't do too much, But you know, if the outer packaging gets really roughly handled, this prevents kind of, I don't know how to say it. It's like swaddling a baby, you know? It just prevents too much movement of the book. Here we are now. Then we're going to add a piece of chipboard or an additional piece of cardboard. Now, if you have thicker cardboard than this, that's just fine. We just buy chipboard here at IPR in large quantities, so we have a lot of it around. But harder cardboard is even better. We take both, we slide it inside of the padded envelope, and we fold down and seal that shut. And of course, as always, more tape, always more tape. And now you have a pretty nicely packaged, small 8.5 by 11 softcover. For our next product, we'll discuss how to package a GM screen. Now, this is a GM screen for the game Against the Dark Master. GM screens come in varieties of sturdiness, but most of them on average are more sturdy than a book. So, very similar to how we package a thin, in fact, identical to how we package a thin 8.5 by 11 soft cover. We'll slide it in this envelope. Just an extra layer of protection. Add a piece of chipboard. Again, even sturdier cardboard is good. Slide it in. Now you may notice how I'm not just taping the top and leaving additional room, because in packaging of role-playing games, movement is your enemy. You want nothing to move. Everything needs to be held still in shipment. You don't want things shifting around inside of your packaging. So we fold, and then, as always, a little extra tape. Because if there's a way to rip this up in transit, the Postal Service or UPS or FedEx will do it. Next up, for our extra bonus item, I have here a hardcover, small hardcover 6x9. Now I know what you're thinking. You just take the hardcover 6x9 and you put it in one of these and ship it, right? It makes total sense. You've already done your crowdfunding project or what have you. You bought 1,000 of these. Boy, maybe we can just ship these just in this. It fits so nicely. You just put it in, you slide it in, fold this over, and there you go. Right? Wrong. You do not want to ship it like this. Under no circumstance. Ship a hardcover book with anything but the maximum protection. So we're going to take this and we're going to slide it in here. Now you're beginning to get a package that can stand up, and again, as always, more tape. You're beginning to look at a package that can stand up to the rigors of transit. Next up, we're going to discuss the packaging of a card game size storytelling game. Now, as many of you watching this already know, here we have Visions of Cthulhu by New Comet Games. There are many storytelling games that come in card format. There are many role-playing game products that come in card format. Those of you that have been playing these games for a while or working in the industry for a while know exactly what I'm talking about. There's several different ways to ship one of these. The best way is to have a small, specifically card game size box. Here we have one. Folds over nicely. There we are. That gives us a protective surface. Now we want to place the card game in here, but we don't just want to put it in here, because look at all this movement. We don't want that. You don't want movement. So what we'll do in this case is take some packing paper. Here we are. And we will use the packing paper. Actually, it's much easier to do it this way. Push your product forward. I'll show you in a moment. We'll use the packing paper to fill in all around the game product. Then, because we pushed it forward, we have an easy time sliding this shut. And now I know what you're thinking. It's finished, right? Wrong. More tape. Always more tape. And there we are. Now, is my taping excessive? Yes. Should your taping be excessive? Yes. Now, for our next product, we're going to package a softcover 8.5 by 11 book. In this case, I have a copy of Fantasy Hero Complete, again by Michael Serbrook. Many role-playing game products are softcover 8.5 by 11, so it's a good size to have a system for. However, when you start talking about 8.5 by 11s that are this thick, you're saying 250, 300, 400 pages, you do not just want to put them in a padded envelope. Now you need to start thinking about boxes. So, first, we are indeed going to put this into a padded envelope as our inner layer of protection for the book. There we are. And again, no movement within the packaging. Movement is the enemy. Then, this is a lit mailer. Yes, my apologies, camera person. Something like that. Now this isn't, unfortunately, the perfect size for an 8.5 by 11 book because, not the perfect depth, because unfortunately the perfect depth became unavailable. But this is a little bit deeper than normal, which means you need a little more packing material. Now we're going to place gently. See, I'm not being gentle enough. Let me redo that. Let me redo that where you can see it. Folding the lid back here, and I'm gently, there we go, sliding this in. Nice and firm, nice and secure. But it could move up and down, right? So we need packing paper or some other form of packing material. We recommend against using packing popcorn. People find it annoying. Retailers, individual customers find it annoying. If you can avoid it, please do. Bubble wrap also works fairly well. We just, again, buy packing paper in bulk. Here we are. You fluff it up. Fluff it up a little. There we go. Now you got some packing on the top. And again, you don't want the packing material to get in the way of you sliding the box closed. All right, here we go. That is a well-protected book. Ooh, got a little peeking out. There we go. Now, are we done? No, because now more tape. Always more tape. Now, a bit of an explanation. I bet you're wondering, why does he put a piece of tape this way? Wouldn't two pieces of tape this way be fine? They would be in an ideal world where pressure wouldn't be constantly put on the top of this package. You see, this poor innocent 3 or 4 pound package is going to have 50-pound boxes dropped on it, 100-pound boxes dropped on it, stacks of 20-pound boxes set on top of it. The abuse it shall suffer is unimaginable. So, by putting the tape here and here, it'd make it much harder for you to crush it and cause the contents to come out in either direction, which they will try to do. Now, for our next item, we're going to do a standard 8.5 by 11 hardcover. Here I have a copy of Freelancer. And as you can see, it's a maybe 300 page hardcover, shrink wrapped. It's very nice cover art. So what you want to do in the case of a book like this, corner damage is your enemy. That is what the transport's going to try to do. It's going to try to crush in your corners. So what we're going to try to do is prevent that. Our first step is to put it inside of a padded envelope. Here we go. There we are. So to start with, again, minimal movement. Oh, we don't have to put another tape here since this is not external packaging, right? You can skip my rule about tape a lot of the time with internal packaging, right? Because there's not going to be any way for things to grab a hold of this. It'll be all right. We shall once again fold up a lit mailer as our exterior packaging. Again, very easy to put together. And as always, our ideal here is lack of movement. Oh, I should show you something. So when you put the envelope in the front, what you're going to want to do is press this way and make sure that the lip goes down. Hold on. There we are. That's better. Goes down. This is relevant because when you put this part in and slide it in, you don't want anything obstructing, so you can get all the way down and get it sealed very nicely. So once again, lots of packing paper. More packing paper, the better. And we slide this in. Hopefully nicely. Oh, it's giving me a little trouble. There we go. Oh, nope, not good enough. I'm going to pull this up, put this over it, and then put it in. There we go. Nice and firm. Again, tape in 3 locations. And once again, we have a package that even the most unhappy UPS warehouse employee, even the most bitter Postal Service employee, will have a hard time damaging. Of course, never impossible, but a hard time. For our next item, we have, now this folks, this is a role-playing game book, Against the Dark Master. Now, this is like a 500-page hardcover role-playing game book. I tell you, they don't make them like this anymore, but in fact, many people do. Now, this can't just get the padded envelope and box treatment, ideally. What you want now, we're going to step up into the world of multiple boxes. So in the case of Against the Dark Master, we're going to want 2 boxes with corner pieces, and I will demonstrate. So here we have an 8.5. Here we have an 11 by an 8 by a 6. Now there's a trick with these. You want to put a big role-playing game book in here. You don't want to tape it all the way shut on the bottom. I'll demonstrate in a moment. What you want is to just tape it like this. Oh. There we go. Whoops. There we are. You see how my hands still fit under here? There's a reason for this, and I will show you in just a moment. Now, we take a role-playing game book, and it easily fits in here, as you can see, because I didn't tape the bottom all the way shut. I left some space. So it folds down nicely. Now we're going to fill the rest of it with packing material, because I want no motion up and down as it travels. Hold the top, tape it shut, and Now we tape the bottom shut. This is our inner layer. I'm not feeling any movement. It's got cardboard around it. That's good for a start. Now what we're going to do is take a 12 by 10 by 8. We're going to tape this shut. Now, I urge you, it's a little hard to do on its side, my apologies. On an exterior box, do not just use a piece of tape. Tape the whole thing, or almost the whole thing. Get many items of tape on here. Because again, we live in a fallen world, and this will take abuse. Lots and lots of abuse. So lots of tape. Now, we open. We take our copy of Against the Dark Master. We put it inside. Are we finished? No, we're still not finished. We are going to use corner pieces. 1, 2. Oh, sorry, out of sight camera person. I'll explain in a moment. 3, 4. Now let me set this aside for a moment. This is a corner piece, and there are several ways to make a corner piece. This, of course, we bought in bulk. These are often used on the edges of pallets for pallet strapping to keep them from cutting into boxes, but they work very well for protecting corners of books, corners of games. They work extremely well for this purpose, and they fit nicely into here. Now, we will come back in a minute and show you yet another way to make your own corner pieces, but we'll get back to that. So here we are. Box product in the inner box in the outer box. Corner pieces protecting the inner box and the outer box, because there are so many ways to destroy a role-playing game book. What next? Well, as you may have guessed, more packing material. Closed, and again, more tape. Now we have a package that stands an excellent chance of delivering its copy of Against the Dark Master to the recipient without its corners staved in, without its cover damaged in some way. It's not foolproof. You never know what they can manage in transportation, but it's about as good as you're going to get. All right. For our next one, we're going to ship a bunch of role-playing game books at once. Not as much as you'll get on average shipped to a retailer from a warehouse, but let's say a customer buys a bunch of books. So for our sample book, we're going to grab a stack of, there we go, Julian Kay's Mutants in the Now. This is a somewhat small 8.5 by 11 softcover, but we have a bunch of them. So how do we get these where they need to go without them being destroyed? Well, very similar to how we shipped Against the Dark Master. First, we take an 11 by 8 by 6. We do not tape the bottom all the way. Oops. Just our little initial piece of tape. There it is. And we take our copies, we'll put them all in here. Now we still have some room up top. What do we not want? Movement. We never want movement. Put our packing material here. Maybe a little more. So, as you can see, we now have this stack of books inside of the 11 by, the 11-inch box, with packing material on the top. So next, we shall tape it shut. You may notice I didn't use quite so much tape this time. I'll explain. After I tape the bottom, because remember how we left the bottom only partially taped? This is an inner box, so your inner box doesn't have to be taped quite as much as your exterior box. Now we have the 12-inch exterior box. Mostly taped closed. We place our books inside. There we are. We take 4 corner pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as you can see, they come almost right up to the top, protecting the entire 11-inch box pretty well. Then we add a little more packing material. And we tape it shut, using, as always, lots of tape. And once again, our box stands an excellent chance of making it through the many rigors of transportation. Now, I know what you're about to say. Jason's hands. What about games like Banana Chan's Jiangxi? I know that Banana Chan made this lovely board game format role-playing game product. How would you ship this safely? Well, first step is a new type of packing material we haven't really used, and that is bubble wrap. Bubble wrap's going to help us with our inner layer. There we go. And let me be the first to tell you, the more bubble wrap, the better. But we're going to do it in 2 segments. First, we're going to wrap this way. And of course, our old friend tape. Then we're going to wrap this way. This is starting to get good. There we go. And more tape. Now, I personally like to also put a little tape along the sides. Like so. And like so. Now we're starting to get good here for the inside. We've got some ability to resist impacts on the corners, on the top. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put it inside of a 12 by 10 by 8 box, which it should fit into fairly snugly. Again, lots of tape. Ah, very nice. Now, it's pretty good. It's fitting down in there pretty nicely. I don't know though. Maybe we want to do something a little more. But to start with, let's add more packing paper. Now this is pretty good, but is it good enough? I don't know. I think what we're going to do here is do a little something extra. Now this is a trick that will enable you to add just that little bit more. Here we have some chipboard. Again, can be bought in bulk. We're going to make our own exterior corner pieces right here. Oh, knife safety. There we are. As you can see, this will fit over the corner. And we'll just add a bit more. And now for the whole box. All right, and there we go. This has the maximum chance of getting where it's going without being destroyed. There we go. All right, for our last packaging video, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you, since you've seen all these previous videos, how to package a large shipment, something that would go to retailers. Now I'm not going to use any product this time. I'm just going to use packing material, so you have to use your imagination. Here we are. So using the previous methods, let's say you taped up 2 boxes worth of material in these 11 buys. You've all seen how to do that already. Here we are, 2 boxes. Now this is enough to hold actually quite a bit of product. You could probably put several dozen small 8.5 by 11 role-playing game books in here, or if you turn them sideways and package them like this, you could put several dozen 6 by 9 of the right size, either this way or that way. But how do we move these 2 boxes of products safely? Well, a larger outer box. In this case, we have a 20 by 12 by 12. As you can see, you know what? Let's even add some more tape. Now, as you can see, we put quite a lot of tape on the bottom because, like all other box shipments, this will suffer the tortures of transportation. So lots of tape is better. We're now going to take these 2 11-inch boxes and place them inside. There we are. Now, we have several options here for corner protection and additional padding. I'm going to do this the most simple way, but I'm also going to show you another way. One is we simply take our standard pre-purchased corner pieces, put them in here, and then you see this additional space? So the corner impact would come here and here. So we don't necessarily have to use corner pieces here. What we can do instead is use packing material. And there we are. We've got corner impact protection on this side. We've got corner impact protection on this side from the packing paper. Now we have some other options. You could, and I won't bother to do this, we could just simply put more packing material on top. You could also put some additional products on the top. I'll give you an example. Here we have some additional already packaged 8.5 by 11 soft covers. You could put something like that in the top and then more because they're already nicely packaged. Or, if you wish, you could take more boxes of this size, cut them down. Most of them you'll buy are ribbed so you can cut them down to various levels and put them in the top as packaging as well. All of these things are doable when packaging a large box. The most important element of this, no movement of product, corner protection, 2 layers of boxes. That is the best way to get these in large quantities to, say, a retailer intact. Now, final notes. I know what you're thinking. You're saying to me, Jason's Hands, do you love Mother Earth? Don't you love Mother Earth? Look at all the packing material you're using. Yes, I love Mother Earth. I love Mother Earth so much, I sold my home outside of Berkeley and moved to the middle of a wilderness. That's how much Jason's Hands love Mother Earth. However, several thoughts. One, if you want to get all these things to their destination safely, you've got to use a lot of packing material. There's kind of no way around it. However, you can reuse old packing material. Here at Indie Press Revolution, we very much operate by the Burning Man motto of recycle, repurpose, reuse. For example, here is some very nice packing material that came in to us with other shipment of books. This will simply get reused. Another example. Here are 2 boxes products came in. We can, since they are of the right size, we can in fact reuse these as well. One fits inside the other. And then corner pieces fit nicely between them. So most likely in the instances of useful packing material that you get in, you can turn around and use it again with a clear conscience, and you should. However, you will also find that a lot of packing material that comes in isn't really useful to be reused, in which case it can be cut down and bundled and recycled, which is what we here do with our used cardboard. So, in conclusion, there are many steps involved in shipping a role-playing game without it being destroyed in transit. But the basic fundamentals are 2 layers, extra protection, corner pieces. If you can achieve that, you can ship, and 99% of the time, it's going to get there in good shape.